I don't think my oldest daughter is mine, and it's killing me. I already know that this is a terrible thing to think about, but it's been on and off in my mind for the past year. So I guess I'll give context to it all. This is a long one just to warn y'all. Me, 32M, and my ex-wife, 32F, were together for 10 years before I ended the marriage due to verbal and emotional abuse. During those 10 years, we had 2 children, both girls that I love with all my heart. And besides, L&F is our oldest that we had towards the beginning of our marriage, while R, 8F, was midway through. I have absolutely no doubts in my mind that R is mine. She is nearly a carbon copy of me in every way. Olive skin, curly jet black hair, etc. L, however, is a bit different story. She is a lot like her mother and shares a lot of her features. Except for 2 things, general face structure and blonde hair. Now for some background on why that is a red flag for me, is because when we went to community college together, she had a friend, 31 She would always hang out with him, almost as much as me, and her would hang out. He has blonde hair and their noses eerily line up. Now my ex and her friend met after our first year of marriage. We got married really young, which was a stupid decision. But besides the fact, perhaps this is me just being jealous, but they were nearly inseparable. Even after we left college, he would drive out great lengths to come see us. But usually when I was at work. About a little less than 3 years into our marriage, we were set to leave for another state. For me to finish my degree. We were all set to leave, and then she got pregnant, somewhat of a surprise to me. But I was too excited on being a father to care. Eventually her friend got married as well, and he stopped coming over. With one exception, he would always make it a point to come to L's birthday. Now this friend already has a kid of his own, 2 years older than L, and would bring him to the party. When I tell you that these 2 looked nearly identical, that doesn't even begin to describe it. Eventually these 2 became the same body build, hair color and face and nose shape. Everyone would mistake them as siblings. That's when these thoughts first got into my head. A few years later, we eventually had R, and I wanted to try moving again so I could finally finish my degree. Also, at this time, my ex's friend had also recently got married to his new girlfriend. My ex hated always saying he didn't seem to be a right fit for him. After great resistance from her, we finally moved to another state. Things quickly unraveled in our relationship, and we divorced. Not how I imagined things going, but that is life. They moved back to her family, and coincidentally, her friend immediately divorced when they returned. Then soon after that, the both of them started dating and married. I am happy for them, I really am. But when I went to go visit them for the summer, Elle asked me if she could take her stepdad's last name, which really hurt. But if it was what she truly wanted, I wasn't going to deny her that. R wanted to keep her last name as it makes her feel closer to me. Then the thing that really set me off. For some reason we were all joking about no more kids even though Elle wants another sibling. And she was sad. She would never get one. Me and my current SO have been thinking of having a kid. So I told her as much. She wasn't really amused, saying that she meant for her mom. Her stepdad cause a baby from me wouldn't really be their sibling, like her mom and her stepdad's. Her mom quickly interjected, saying that would be the case for them too, as they would only be half-siblings. It felt very forced, and now that I'm back home, it's all I can think about. I haven't really talked with my eldest for the past week and a half because of it. I don't want to be thinking this. I don't want to believe my ex would have done that. She did a lot of things during our marriage, but I would never in a million years think of her as a cheater. But now it's all I can think about. I couldn't keep this one to myself. I need to know if I sound crazy or not. Comment. Get a test. Stop torturing yourself with unknowing and find out. And then please update us OMG. Most of all though, I'm so sorry you are going through this. It sounds awful, and I hope you have a good support network around to help cope with all these emotions, and those still to come. Please get the test done. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories like this. My husband is demanding a paternity test, and I don't know if we can come back from this. Me, 32 female, and my husband, 34 male, have been together for 12 years and married for 6. We have a 2-year-old daughter, and I'm 9 weeks pregnant. We have struggled with getting pregnant both times, 4 years for our daughter and a year and a half for this pregnancy. We know that he does have a lower sperm count than average, but there was nothing else that had been noted as a barrier. This time, I had started a position as a social worker in the emergency department, and I absolutely love it. But I see things that no one should see, and on bad days, I don't want sex, which I think makes sense, and I'm sometimes late from work, never more than 2 hours. My husband also left on a boys' vacation for a few days around the time I got pregnant. Something happened on this vacation, and his mental health has been horrible since. Not sleeping, easily agitated, and everyone else on the trip says that something went wrong, but we're not sure what happened. Now, I get the positive test. I'm so excited. I can't wait to tell him. The day after I told him, he then accused me of the baby not being his. I must have cheated instead of being at work late. I must have gone to a sperm bank because I wanted a child so badly. He wants a paternity test. And, oh yeah, he tested our daughter because he now thinks she's not his ether. I have never cheated. Never wanted to. I don't know where this is coming from. I asked Keed what he would do if the test came back that the children were both his, and he said, "Say I'm sorry and try and make it up to you." He has talked to multiple people about his concerns that I may have cheated, and they all tell him that I would never do that. Even his mother is telling him that he's out of line. I'm going to talk to my doc about the non-invasive blood test because I know that I have nothing to hide. We are also going to start couples therapy in a couple of weeks. He didn't participate last time we tried, but I have to at least try. But I don't know what to do. He tells me that he still loves me, but I don't believe him. Is this it? Is this the end of our relationship? Because I don't know how to come back from this now that I know he doesn't trust me at all. How do I handle this? Edit. The boys were my father, my brother, my uncle, and his cousin. They were out in a sailboat, and on the last day of the trip, a hurricane was coming in. He freaked, wanting to go back into port while everyone else wanted to take advantage of the higher winds to get some real sailing in. He had a full-blown panic attack. But my family never stopped him from getting off the boat. He just had to call, and someone would come to get him. Relevant comments. Comment. First step for me to even try to work things out is that he has to go to individual therapy. If this shift of behavior isn't like him and has been a drastic change, then there's something going on mental health-wise. That needs to be addressed. Second, couples therapy. OP. I've been trying to get him into therapy for years. He thinks all therapists are judgmental assholes. I then reminded him he married a therapist. Update. My husband found the post. He read through all of your comments too. When he got home from work this morning, we had a conversation about what's been going on in his head recently, and he called me out for being insensitive since the sailing trip as well. He told me that I have been withdrawn recently and not wanting to spend as much time with him. He also said that my fertile time was supposed to be while he was on the boat, which is why he is so convinced that I may have been with someone else. My fertile time doesn't appear to ever come when it's supposed to, it seems. He also tells me he has not cheated, and I believe him. I am going to talk to my doc about doing a blood test for paternity as I refuse to do anything invasive. And we will start couples therapy soon. We'll see what happens next. Relevant comments. Comment 1. Glad you found the comments helpful, and glad you and your husband are talking and are still together. It's good you realize you were not being sufficiently supportive of him and have apologized. However, I believe he also needs to apologize to you for accusing you of cheating. If he knew anything about biology, he'd know that many women are not anything like as regular as what he is saying. OP. Funny thing is that he's a mental health nurse. I'm pretty sure he has forgotten everything medical he doesn't need regularly. Comment 2. Okay, I'm genuinely confused. How is she horrible in any way in the first post? Being accused of cheating is awful, and somehow people convinced her she's at fault? We have come to the end of our story. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories like this. Tell us what you think about this story in the comments.